Hello, everybody. Can you hear that? I have this little turtle and he has a little water filter, so if you guys can hear it, sorry. But we're gonna keep his water clean. Today, I was actually going to take a bunch of pictures for Instagram because I want to get my profile started again. Being in quarantine, not really quarantine, but like not going out as much. I miss getting ready. I miss putting makeup on. I miss just kind of feeling like me. So this is my opportunity to do so. And I always had fear of what people would think, and now I just don't care. I'm going to just film a typical everyday look. It's simple, it's not too crazy, but let's just dig right in. So first I always start with concealer. So this is a drugstore one, an oldie but a goodie, Maybelline Age Rewind. I use the color medium because it has kind of a peach undertone and it cancels out the shadows and the darkness. So I always start actually kind of in the side of my nose and slim it down. I know a lot of people always kind of want a slimmer nose or do that contour effect. I start with the reverse contour with concealer. So that be that. Actually, I'll take it down a little bit more. I don't do too much. And then I have this e.l.f. stippling brush. It's kind of like the MAC one that has a smaller stippling brush also. And I just kind of push it in where I want it to sit. And I let it just dry down a little bit. And then I take it down. I guess the goal of my makeup most of the time is to make it feel like I don't have a lot sitting on my face, and I do that by spreading it out, and then it adds kind of just that lightness to brighten up your face. So that be that, and then I let that sit for a second. While I do that, I could just line the inner rim of my eye. You can use any black pencil. I use the Maybelline New York Tattoo Studio. So this one I think is a great just pencil liner. It's kind of a gel pencil liner and it doesn't really move. So I just line the inner third of my eye to kind of thicken that lash root definition. And now that this is dried down a little bit, I'll take this American concealer, which is a Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is in the color light beige, and I put this on top, like a lighter layer on top, just to brighten. And then you can put a little bit down these parts of your face. So again, I kind of do the same thing where I take it up with this and then let it sit for a second. And then this I almost take and just spread out what's on my forehead. I don't really add more product because again, that's kind of where it kind of sits on your face. So one thing I didn't do that I normally do like to do is put some kind of primer on. I use this one. It's the Master Blur Stick. This is good at kind of going over and hiding your pores. I normally use it right kind of in my T-zone, but now that that's sat for about, I don't know, a minute, I just go ahead and push it in with a beauty sponge. This one I want to say is an e.l.f. beauty sponge. I'm obsessed with it. I like it better than the original Beauty Blender, which I never thought I would. I've tried the Real Techniques one. I've tried the Morphe one. I've tried all kinds of different ones, and I think this one became my favorite. So I just take it and push in that concealer. I go right into all the different areas just to make sure it's kind of pushed in and perfect. Then I take a different type of brush. You don't have to do this. You can use that same brush I use to kind of place the product, but I take around in my inner corner of my eye and I almost take the concealer as a base. So that way you don't kind of have that little part in the middle. You know how like sometimes you have product just kind of sitting right there? This helps smooth it out and then also creates an eyeshadow base. So I will push that in one more time and then I will go ahead and set that. I use, it's the Ciate London. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but this came in an Ipsy bag and I'm forever obsessed. So use this to kind of set it down. I don't bake most of my face, especially not every day. I mean my under area, can I speak? Under eye area. But I do take just a little bit and I push it in just to mattify and set. Oh, I also have dry skin, so I don't ever really overly powder my face, as the powder spots everywhere. It's just coming off the brush. There's not much on it. But one thing I do contour, or reverse contour, is on the sides of my nose. So I kind of stamp that right there. And just let that part sit while I do the rest of my makeup. Move this mirror on this side, and if it's better. Ooh, that's better. Okay, I mean better for me. Hopefully you guys could still see normally. So the next thing I do is I go in with my What's Up highlighter, just to highlight the bridge of my nose. I have this dual-ended brush that it's always in my makeup bag, and if I traveled for work a lot before all this, and this was the one brush I would take with me, or else I'll use a lot of different brushes at home just because it's fun. But you use kind of that smaller, more dense end to pick up a cream type product, and I just highlight the bridge of my nose and right in that corner. And then I take the other side just to keep it easy, and it's called Blame It on Midnight. It's a nude matte shadow from NYX. I loved this to its dying days. I don't even know if I should even be getting product out of this, but I like it because it's kind of a skin tone a little bit darker than my own skin, but it's not that like harsher brown. And then I always highlight first because it almost helps me see where on the sides of my nose I want to run this color. And then I take it up and through my brow just to kind of create that seamless effect and make my nose like appear a little bit thinner. So I'm still letting that stuff bake in the corner, and I think that's just going to ultimately, when we push it all away, you'll see it kind of makes your nose feel narrower. Then I have this Morphe bronzer. It's a lot, it over deposits, I feel like, but I do like the color, so I do use it. I'll take some kind of fluffy brush. Again, if I'm just on the go and I have this, I could still use this, but I'm at home, so I'm just gonna use a blending brush, a bigger blending brush. This is a Sigma tapered blending, an E40, and I'm just going to run this through my crease just to create some definition. Same on this side. And then I connect it to that nose contour. Then I take the same color. I generally like to use the same color if this is like a quick daily makeup, in my crease and on my cheeks as the bronzer and the contour. I don't contour typically daily, but I do run bronzer where that would be. So this brush is incredible. It's called the Complex Culture brush. It's a press and set. I don't even know where I got this, probably in another one of those bags, but it's one of those brushes that kind of blends for you. You don't even need to really move it around a lot. And it just, can you see that? For a product like this that a lot comes out, for it to be able to seamlessly blend so easily, where you don't really have to do a lot of work, it's kind of crazy. And then I run it just typical places where I would bronze, and then right under my jawline, just to kind of keep it all together. You know, that three that everyone kind of knows about. Thank you, Kim K, probably, because I think she was the one that originally brought it to my attention. So then I do definition under my eyes. I use the Balm. It's kind of like a red brick color. It's pretty much my favorite eyeshadow color of all time to run under my eye. And I'm using an e.l.f. small, I don't know what it's called because it's all blacked out, but I will link it below. I take a little bit on the end and then I define out under my eye. I also have a lazy eye. I don't know which eye it is, but if you see one of my eyeballs like do something weird, that's why. So yeah, that be that. And then I'll just take a brown liner. This is a Rimmel one. And I'll just fill in that area. Moving on, I will go to blush. I normally like using a cream blush. I didn't bring my stippling. Hold on. Let me do that. Oops. I'm rolling like, ah! That was not very smooth. I take a stippling brush and I kind of put it into this one cream. It's kind of a mauve-y color. And I smile and apply it to the apples of my cheeks. I think cream blushes, and I know I put on powder, but this one, I have to figure out what it is. This one, for some reason, doesn't cause that breakup of powder. So I can put it right on the powder I had before. And then I just add it to forehead, chin, kind of just to bring everything together. So moving on to brows, I'm using the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I am obsessed with this brow pencil. First of all, it's like, I don't know, $5 or $6. Second of all, I love the consistency of the product. It's not overly waxy where it glides on and you almost miss, you kind of mess up what you're trying to do. It has, I think, the perfect consistency. So I don't really do a crazy amount. I just fill in where it's a little sparse, like that. And that's pretty much it. It's more to try and even them out, although I feel like no matter what I do, they're not perfect, but, and then I brush them up. And I take the end of my spoolie and just kind of smooth it out. All right, brows are done. Oh, and if I'm really in need, if it's not just daily I don't remember to put a brow gel on, but if I do need one, this is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I do the same thing actually. I just brush it up like I just did, and I just let it sit for a second. And then I go back in with the end of that spoolie and just kind of go over the edge. So as you can see from what I've done, I actually don't wear foundation daily. I wear concealer and bronzer, but not foundation. So if you do like foundation, it's part of your everyday, you go ahead and put that on before you started everything I did today. So that be that. I will now take away the powder. This is a tapered brush from Sigma. Sometimes if I'm not doing this step, I'll just set my eyes with this, but if I am, then I don't. Obviously, I just use the sponge and then I use that to dust off the rest. So I'll go back to my nose at the very end. I normally put a colored powder right on the sides, again, kind of to keep with that slimming effect, but I'm not doing that now. Next step for me, I'll do my liner next. So I do a wing, and I'll try to do this on camera well. I hope it works, but I kind of take out a line. How do I do this on camera? I'm gonna try. So I'll just go out and I'll draw one line, and I'll kind of like a triangle connect it in, and then fill it. And I actually just do the end, so it gives that like lifted effect, and that's pretty much it. If I take it in, it's not typically all the way through, because daily when I'm going to work or something, I'm wearing this all day, and a lot of times when I do my eyeliner all the way through, I'll touch my eye or touch my face and I kind of get rid of the corner. So I like this effect, and it doesn't cause me to need to touch up, so it actually works out great. And then let me do the other side. Again, you just kind of draw out that first line, and then I connect it to the edge and then fill And I hope that it all kind of pulls together well. And that tight lining we did at the very beginning with the black makes this look really pretty because you don't get that disconnect or separation. I will take that What's Up highlighter again. I typically use my finger for this. I just put a little bit on and dab it on the high points of my cheeks. And I bring it down a bit. I think it's pretty when you kind of smile and like, I don't know, you see a little bit of shimmer there. So I take it down a little bit onto my cheeks. And then I'll put it on the other side. And again, taking it down to my cheeks. It's there, but it's kind of subtle. I like the effect of a glow, not so much like a bold highlight. I mean, I like the bold highlight, just not for a daily look. And then I will take and spray my face just so everything kind of pushes together. I use the Wet n Wild Cucumber. This is my favorite one that they have. I've tried the matte, I've tried the dewy, I've tried the one that smells like coconut. This is the one I love the most. So after I do all my powder and my base and all these things, I set it down with this. And then I actually, and I don't have it with me, but I will use, I don't know, some kind of product to kind of do what I'm doing right now with my fingers and let it all melt together. Now I will take this Face Tools brush. It's kind of thicker and it's a little dense, but it's not a cream type of dense. And then I like this powder. Again, I have drier skin, so the type of powder I use needs to be really creamy. This is a Physicians Formula powder. It's called the Healthy Powder, and it is in the color, I don't know. So I think it's MC1, but I'll find out and I'll put it below. So I take this and I stamp the side of my nose just to kind of, again, give it that narrower look I was talking about. And then sometimes I just go right back over this. One other thing I do, and I use actually the end of this to do it, is I'll take the concealer I had, the Master, why do I keep calling everything a Master? The Maybelline, it's the Instant Age Rewind. I'll tap a little bit into my brush and then I use it right under my eyebrows to kind of clean up a little bit and then allow the separation where it's light and then a little dark. It's a preference of mine. Again, you can skip this step. There we go. So moving on to mascara, I use the Thrive Cosmetics. I loved this one. It's not like the Instagram commercial where it looks like everyone's eyelashes are 14 feet long, but it does lengthen. I am very low on it, so I hope it still shows that same effect, but I use two mascaras, typically a lengthening one and then a thickening one, and this is the lengthening one, and it's so good. I hope it shows. Let's see. Another thing I like about it, which I don't know if people like or wouldn't like this, but when you wash it off, you know how most mascaras almost make all of your eyes just look dark and black when you're kind of rubbing? This one clumps together and like fades and falls right off. It's very interesting. I've never seen a mascara do that. And this is all with just that first coat. So that is the top, and then I do a little bit. It's so weird to do this on camera without making a weird face. It's like hard. How did anybody put little mascara on without making an ugly weird face? That's me trying not to, so we know how that goes. So I let it dry for like a second basically, And then I can start drawing the start of my lip liner. And then when I feel like it's gotten a little tacky, I'll go back to a second coat. So this is an older mascara I found that I just opened. So I don't think they have it anymore, but any volumizing mascara will do here. So I take this and I go right over. I like this kind of thicker, spidery look. But if you don't, you can stick to one of the mascaras if you want volume or yeah, there. So now while that dries, I'll finish my lips. So my everyday color that I'm obsessed with is the Wet n Wild. It's the Nudist Peach. It is their liquid catsuit. So it's the matte lipstick, not the, they have ones that are, I think it's called High Shine. Those are good too, but daily I use this. And I hit it all over. I like this color. I like myself in peaches more than pinks. And then I take my lip liner, which is the NYX Truffle. Yeah, Nude Truffle. I like this one. It's a little deeper of a nude. And now let's go around the edges, which gives your lips a much bigger appearance because you have that lighter color in the middle. So the very last thing I do is curl my lashes, but I use my fingers to do it. So they should be a little, maybe they need to wait another second. While I do that, I will brighten up my blush a little bit. I really like this. I normally use a cream blush, but if I were to use a powder brush, again, sticking with that kind of nudier theme versus pink. LA Girl Island Hottie blush palette. It's one of my favorites. And again, I can use that one I was talking about with bronzer, that brush, and I kind of just dab away. And then you kind of can brighten up that blush look. And that be that. So take your fingers, put them at the base of your lashes, and then just kind of look down and let your lashes fall into the base of your fingers and just hold them for like, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds. But when you let them go, are you guys ready? Holy moly. It's so pretty. And there you have it. This is pretty much my everyday look that I wear. Let me take this little headband guy out. Ugh. And get my hair kind of normal. And then, I don't know, I have like multiple looks with my hair. I wear it to the side a lot. This is typical, normal. And then, I don't know, I feel like over the last couple months, I've been into the middle part. I don't know what's prettier. Maybe it just depends on the look. But ultimately, this is the final result. I have a little bit of mascara speckle back here. And like I said, the easiest thing to take care of, you just wait till everything is dry. And then you flake it right off. It's like it was never there. Oh, well, obviously that wasn't dry. But it just flakes right off. And that's it. Isn't this lash effect the coolest? If they're a little bit tackier than when it was when I started this, and they really, it just lasts all day. It's so nice. So this is it. This is the final result. This is kind of, I think what I'm gonna do right now actually is go and wear some outfits that I wish I could wear if I was going out, take some photos because I miss getting ready. You made it till the end. This is supposed to be so much faster. I feel like I just talk so much and it's so weird to make a video, so you end up over talking more than you normally do, and then you put steps in that you don't necessarily need to. You can do this whole look with a sponge and 2 brushes, or not a sponge and very like 3 brushes or something like that. It's enough but not too much where you can kind of get away with it daily. It's good for photos, it's good for work, it's good for just wanting to pull yourself together quickly. And this again is a no foundation look, so if you like foundation, go ahead and put it on before you kind of start every step I started today. And that's it. So thank you for joining, and if you want to see more videos from me, just let me know what you want to see and I'll continue uploading, hopefully maybe 1 a week. All right, thanks and have a good day.